In this video, we'll walk you through the process of installing pfSense router or firewall software at Oregon State University. First, open RDP connection to CyberLab instance. Click the Settings icon. Select Remote Keyboard Layout using the remote machine's keyboard. Select CyberLab and wait a few moments to connect. After connecting with RDP, enter your username and password to login. This process may take some time, depending on the network connection. Once connected, open Hyper-V and create a new VM to deploy pfSense. Open Hyper-V by clicking on the Windows button, typing Hyper-V in the search box and run as administrator on the app when it comes up. Enter the administrator username and password. In the Microsoft Management Console, then click Yes. You may need to click on the machine name at the top left, COB CyberLab 04. In the image here, your computer name may be different. Notice that no VMs show up. Open PowerShell by clicking on the Windows button, typing PowerShell in the search box, and run as administrator. Now enter the administrator username and password in the PowerShell console. Type cdc:/. Then press Enter to change to the root directory on C. Then type the letters B, I, and S. Because there's only one folder that starts with BS, PowerShell will fill in the rest when you press the Tab key. Then type the letters P, O, and W and press the Tab key again. Add a period and backslash on the front. Pressing Enter will run that script. The script is coded with commands and parameters to create a new VM. The new VM will boot from an ISO file to install the router firewall software. Go back to the Hyper-V Manager. You should now see that there is a VM called pfSense_install. That was created by the script you ran. Right-click on the pfSense installer VM to start. Then click Start on the VM connection pane. The console window will now display various messages, is set up for installation. But most of the time it is advisable to change the zoom factor for the machine to 75%. You can use any zoom setting that works well for you. After a bit, a graphical user interface will pop up so you can perform the initial installation of the router software. The interface is not fancy. You will just have to press Enter on the right options. Mostly the right option comes up automatically, but sometimes you need to move between the options by pressing up or down arrows before you press Enter. The video mirrors the steps and the instructions. Eventually, You will click to have the machine reboot. When you reboot, a Hyper-V screen will pop up briefly, and the console will again display lots of commands as it prepares the router for use. Command line interfaces, such as these, are very common when you are managing computer devices. After a bit, it will prompt you about setting up VLANs. Choose to not set up VLANs by entering N as shown. Type HN0 in the WAN prompt as shown. Enter HN1 as the local area network LAN interface. Enter Y to proceed. Eventually, the console will display an old-style menu. It prints various options the user can choose. The user then enters a number and presses Enter. Prompts are presented, and the user responds to make things happen. We will do a few setups so that the router will be ready for additional configuration through a graphical user interface in future labs. Type 2 and hit Enter to proceed to the menu option. Set interface's IP address. Type 2 and hit Enter to choose to LAN, HN1 static. Type N and hit Enter. Do not configure an IPv4 address LAN interface via DHCP. We will be statically assigning it. We will be setting up OfficeNet as 10.0.1.1/24. Enter the new LAN interface IPv4 address as 10.0.1.1 and hit Enter. This serves as the gateway address for all devices on OfficeNet. Choose a subnet mask of 24 bits, reserving the first 3 octets 10.0.1.x. Type N and press Enter twice to skip IPv6 configuration. Set up DHCP for the segment by typing Y and pressing Enter to enable DHCP. Enter the DHCP range as 10.0.1.3 to 10.0.1.254. Type N and press Enter to retain HTTPS for the web configurator. Several messages will show as the router reloads services. It will show the new address assigned to the segment 10.0.1.1. 10.0.1.1. Press Enter to return to the menu. That wraps up the steps to be done to complete the lab. You are encouraged to go back and review the VM settings and to read over the lab walkthrough again.